Hey there guys, what is going on? Season 5 of Cold War is definitely upon us now, and it is a very exciting time to be a Call of Duty fan. We have loads of weapon balancing updates that make some of the previously underused weapons really good in this game now. I've been doing a little bit of testing as the update did go live a little early. Basically, you can check out all the new attachments and new stats and stuff like that. And we've been testing these out, and these are, in my opinion, the top 10 best class setups in Cold War right now, with the new season in Season 5, of course. Keep in mind that this video will not include the new weapons, as we haven't really had enough time to use them, play with them, test them out, and see what they can do. If we do find that they are, of course, very strong, we will be, of course, including them in this list, and that's how this works. Just before we do get into our top 10, make sure you do hit that subscribe button with those notifications turned on. I do very much appreciate it, and it really does help me out. Of course, I know about 90% of you guys watching these videos right now are not subscribed, so if you could take the time to hit that button for me, that'd be absolutely massive. So let's get into our list here with our top 10. Again, these are, as usual, going to be in no particular order here, and we are mostly going to just be focusing on the attachments for each of these weapons. And the first thing that I want to take a look at here is, of course, the AK47. In the most recent patch, they actually did do another little change, of course, to the suppressor attachment, which we love on our AK47 class setup, making this weapon even more powerful than it was previously. Basically, they did give you a little bit more bullet velocity with our class setup that we've got here. Our attachments on the AK-47 will usually look like this. Of course, as I said, we start off with that sound suppressor. As you can see, we get that muzzle flash concealment. This does reduce our effective damage range by 13%, and as I mentioned, the bullet velocity by 8%. That was the most recent change. And as we can see here, this does give us a 71 meter value and 926 meters per second of bullet velocity. If we do combine this with, of course, the VDV reinforced barrel, which is our barrel of choice, this does give us that damage range and bullet velocity, which is really nice here for getting us on target, meaning we get a 300 millisecond time to kill out to 70 meters, which is so super strong. Moving on here, we have the underbarrel. You can take one of two options here, in my opinion. We can just take a standard foregrip for 15% increase to our horizontal recoil control. This is a really nice option to help keep us on target. Or you can take a Spetsnaz speed grip here for just 5% sprinting movement speed increase. Is really nice to help you rush around the map and get to places more quickly. Again, moving on here, we do have the handle in the Serpent Wrap for a 25% increase to our aim down sight speed. Getting those sights up nice and quickly here is very important for this particular class. And our last attachment, as usual, is of course the KGB skeletal stock for a sprint to fire speed increase, as well as aim walking movement speed is super strong as well. If you are after the rest of my class setup here, feel free to just pause the video at any point and just take the perks, take the tactical, lethal, whatever you do prefer here, because we won't be going over that in today's video. Otherwise, it'll be like 20 minutes long. Moving on here, we do of course have the next weapon that did receive a little change in the, of course, Season 5 update, and this is the Fara 83. They did actually change some of the recoil stats with this thing, making it a lot easier for us to shoot people here. Now, this is an actually interesting class, as well as it is another suppressed assault rifle, meaning good players won't really be able to find you on the map when you are firing a suppressed weapon. So again, we start off with that sound suppressor here. This did have a similar change to the bullet velocity change that we did see previously. So we are going to get even more bullet velocity out of this thing, which is another little buff for it here, which does almost take us to 1400 meters per second of bullet velocity with 50 meters of damage range again. 300 millisecond time to kill out to 50 meters is so strong. Moving on here again, that barrel, as I mentioned, we do really only want to run the Liberator barrel for a 100% increase to our bullet velocity. A really nice option here to help with our hit detection. Moving on again, we do have the Spetsnaz speed grip in the underbarrel, or again, you can just take a foregrip if you just prefer that. I like the visual look of the foregrip, but I do like sprinting around with this thing, so this is again up to you. Moving on, we do actually have a different attachment here with a VDV 50 round fast mag, giving us the most amount of bullets to fire, as well as a very fast reload speed here. But you can switch this out, of course, for a stock if you prefer that, and we'll talk about that in a second. And then our last attachment is, of course, the GRU elastic wrap. As I said, we are using a larger magazine here, so the maximum amount of aim down sight speed possible is always going to be good. But if you're just taking like a stock, you can take the Serpent Wrap and then take a KGB skeletal stock here. Next is a weapon that did receive an absolutely massive buff in this patch. To go through all of them over here would just be a long time. So I'll flash it up on the screen right now so you can just get an idea of what this thing is good at now. Basically close range combat, and that is where it should be, with a very high fire rate and decent bullet velocity. Our attachments do, of course, start off with that SOCOM Eliminator here for a 85% increase to our muzzle flash concealment, meaning our red dot does disappear from the map quite quickly. You can take a suppressor, or you can take an infantry compensator if you do prefer that. A little bit of different recoil control. Then we go to the barrel here. Again, we are taking the Ranger barrel for a 100% increase to our bullet velocity here. This does help keep us on target and get those bullets down range as quickly as possible, and helping out with our hit detection. Then we've actually got the magazine attachment here. We are taking the 38 round speed mag here for a good combination of a decent magazine size, fast reload speed, and a not reducing our aim down sight speed by as much as the other options. Then we also grab the handle here for a Serpent Wrap. 25% increase to our aim down sight speed is a really simple attachment. Then the last one, we do have the Raider stock for that sprint to fire speed and aim walking movement speed stats here. Next is another weapon that did actually receive some pretty significant buffs here. Again, we'll flash them up on the screen here so I don't have to just like repeat and rattle off a list of all the stats that did change with this thing. But I really do think the Groza is going to be very, very good in Season 5. Starting us off here again, another suppressed assault rifle. Now, why are we doing that here? We take a look at the stats for this thing and we get 60 meters of damage range and 772 meters per second of bullet velocity. Pretty decent stats across the board. The TTK is a little less than 300 milliseconds, which is like not ideal, but it does actually remain competitive up close. We move again to our barrel attachment in that GRU composite. Taking this into account, we do have a 25% increase to effective damage range and bullet velocity, which is just nice to get those bullets on target, as I said. Then we have an attachment that did get changed. This is the Spetsnaz grip for a 15% increase to our vertical recoil control and a 25% increase to our horizontal recoil control. Is absolutely insane here, meaning we can hit the target very, very easily with this attached. In the handle, we have an attachment that did actually get changed here. With the Spetsnaz field grip, we have a 30% increase to our aim down sight speed and a 70% flinch resistance here, which is just, that's wild. You compare that to the GRU elastic wrap and they're basically the same attachment. Now, you can't drop shot with this thing, but we don't really do that too much anyway. Moving on, we do have the stock here for the KGB pad. Now, this is the same as the other ones, but the stats we actually get here are a 50% increase to our sprint to fire speed, and that is an unbelievable improvement over the 30%. Really does help get us on target with that weapon pulling up from sprinting. Moving on to what is probably going to be the meta SMG come the new patch. Basically, we're looking at the AK74U. This thing does hit very hard and absolutely shreds people, deletes people up close. About 150 millisecond time to kill if you are getting a 3-shot kill, which includes 2 headshots. Moving on to our attachments here, you start with that compensator again for the 12% increase to our vertical recoil control. It does help keep our shots down here when you combine this with, of course, the barrel, which is the task force. This does allow us to get that 3-shot kill with those 2 headshots and a body shot, as well as giving us extra damage range and a nice amount of bullet velocity here. Then we have, of course, the underbarrel. We're just taking a stock foregrip here for 18% increase to our horizontal recoil control without reducing our movement speed stats. But you can take a speed grip if you do prefer that. Then, of course, the handle, serpent wrap again. We're back down to earth with a normal grip attachment for aim down sight speed at 25%. And then you round this off with the stock of the KGB skeletal variety, 30% sprint to fire speed and 10% aim walking movement speed. Continuing on our way here, another weapon that I really do think is very powerful in this game is the OTS-9. When you throw in some headshots into the mix here, you are getting a lightning fast time to kill here, which is so super strong. I love the OTS-9. We do also have some good attachment options here, the sound suppressor or the compensator or the KGB eliminator or the GRU suppressor. All 4 of these options are viable and you can pretty much pick and choose whatever you do prefer here. I don't really have a preference. I think any of the 4 available options can be switched in and out at any time. In the barrel, again, we want that task force variety for the damage, range, and bullet velocity. This actually does allow us to get that 3-shot kill. If we do land 3 headshots, you just remove someone from the map. It's absolutely hilarious how easily and fast this thing kills if you do get the right circumstances. Then we have the underbarrel here for that Spetsnaz grip for the most amount of recoil control here, keeping us on target with 6% vertical and 20% horizontal is a really nice boost as well. Then, of course, the magazine, we want the most amount of bullets to fire, but a combined fast reload speed here. So 32 round fast mag does give us that middle ground, but does reduce our aim down sight speed. So to compensate for that, we do take the GRU elastic wrap here for a 30% increase to our aim down sight speed. Really fun weapon to use. If you've not unlocked this yet, make sure you do go and get this thing. It's so fun. Then, a controversial opinion here. I still think the LC10 is going to be quite good. The nerfs that were prophesized the other day did come true, of course. This did get a little bit of extra recoil on the 1st and the 12th bullet, which is a little weird, but that overall does actually increase the total recoil height, so it is going to be a little bit more difficult to control this thing. And I think there was another change as well that I can't actually remember off the top of my head, but I still feel like the LC10 is going to be very good here. Again, the regular class setup that we go with is the infantry compensator for 12% vertical recoil control, keeps those shots down from, of course, the task force barrel, with that damage range and bullet velocity here, getting us on target as easily as possible. If we do take a look, they still get that 20 meters of damage range, which is still pretty nice here. Then the underbarrel, of course, just a standard foregrip here, no movement speed messing around here, but you can take an SFOD speed grip if you do prefer. I just like the foregrip for not reducing our movement speed stats. Then we look at the handle slot, which is basically just another serpent wrap, 25% increase to our aim down sight speed to help us with getting those up nice and quickly is very important for us. And then we round this off with the Raider stock, of course, for a sprint to fire speed increase as well as aim walking movement speed. But again, as usual, you can switch out the Raider stock for a magazine. A 52 round fast mag would be appropriate for this, but that is up to you. Then we do have the only LMG on this list, which is the MG82. I really do think this is one of the better weapons in the game. Basically, you get a high fire rate, pretty fast moving LMG with a massive magazine, really easy to control recoil. This is such a fun weapon to use in my opinion. Start with that task force barrel again. 10% damage, 100% effective damage range, and 38% bullet velocity does help keep us on target here. Moving on to the underbarrel, we do take that SFOD speed grip for 12% sprinting movement speed. You want to be sprinting everywhere with this thing. Really nice option to help keep us on target as well. Then the magazine, 150 round fast mag is absolutely ridiculous and doesn't actually reduce our aim down sight speed by that much. To combine that, we do actually grab that airborne elastic wrap as well for the most amount of aim down sight speed here. And then to round this off, we do actually have the SAS combat stock here for 10% shooting movement speed and 75% aim walking movement speed. Is absolutely ridiculous here. I really do think you should try out the MG82. If you didn't unlock it in the battle pass, you can actually get this through a challenge now. Then of course, what is probably the best sniper in the game at the moment, which is the Swiss K31. If you're a quick scoping madman, you already know this thing is insane. It's such a fun weapon to use, really, really easy to get lots of kills with this thing with a fast aim down sight speed. Our attachments do, of course, look like this with the last barrel, the Tiger Team. I'm pretty sure this option has been on pretty much every attachment that we do have here. Damage, fire rate, and bullet velocity is a nice combination. Then, of course, you do get that underbarrel for the 5% movement speed stats across the board. Movement speed, shooting movement speed, and aim walking movement speed. Then you combine this with the 8-round mag to give us more bullets to fire. I think you either get 6 or 7 with this, with the, of course, reduction from the Tiger Team. I can't remember off the top of my head. Then the handle, we do have the Serpent Wrap here for the 14% increase to our aim down sight speed. And we round this off with the Raider stock for the sprint to fire speed and aim walking movement speed. Again, this is one of the most fun weapons to use in the game because quickscoping is just so powerful with this. And then the last weapon that we do have on our list here is, of course, what I think is one of the more powerful snipers in the game as well. Move over the Tundra. We've got the M82 here. I think this thing is absolutely ridiculous. Not a lot of people are talking about this thing, but I think it is actually broken. Our attachments, again, look very similar to how we have featured previously. We just don't have the Tiger Team barrel unlocked because I don't use this thing a lot because I think it is disgusting. So again, you want that Tiger Team barrel, of course. Again, very similar to the Infiltrator grip or the Speed grip, whatever you do prefer in this slot. Then again, in the magazine slot, the 7-round mag, we do reduce our maximum magazine ammo capacity with the Tiger Team barrel when we do have it, so keep that in mind here. Then again, the Serpent Wrap for the 12% aim down sight speed here. Again, really nice to help keep us on target here, get those sights up nice and quickly. And then again, we finish this off with the CQB pad or the Raider pad here, depending on what you do have unlocked. And that's pretty much it here, guys. That is what I believe to be the top 10 best weapons, most overpowered class setups in the game as of the Season 5 patch. There is some more work to cover here. We got to take out the new weapons. We got to test them all and see what's good. Some of these weapons will definitely get replaced on this list, and there's maybe too many assault rifles on here, but with all the buffs, I think it's definitely worth checking them out again. Thank you very much for watching this one, though. I do massively appreciate it, and it really does help me out. Hit that subscribe button with those notifications turned on if you have not already done so. I know about 90% of you guys watching this video right now are not subscribed, so if you could take the time, that'd be fantastic. And again, I will see you in the next video. Bye!